Hi listeners, Harika here, and I'm super excited to welcome you to Upptalk. If you're ready to learn and get your hands work wonders in the world of information technology, then you're in the right place. When I say Upptalk, we are not just another edtech company. Consider we are your learning partner committed to unlocking your full potential. Whether you're stepping into the world of technology for the first time or looking to advance your career, we provide top-tier, hands-on courses to build up your career. Let's take our first step towards learning here and explore it. Let's investigate SAP, a well-known enterprise resource planning system, and discover its many functionalities and business applications.
Now also, I'm in the process of creating a new role. So with the user ID Nelby, I've created this role. So basically yesterday it was so whatever roles you create in Henan Studio are called catalog roles. And these roles cannot be imported into any other system. Any other instance or system. Only the roles which are created as part of repository, that is, the repository roles which are created in IDE web. IDE will allow us to transport these roles from one system to another system. So what did I do? I created a package called role design and I created a role called role 100 here where I granted everything that is required for the user. Also, while creating the catalog roles, we had some issues. We are not able to assign any. What do you say? The object privileges, because we were not able to assign it, because we were only given access to. We were only given access to select and execute, but not the privilege to assign this privilege to any other user. So for that reason, we're not able to assign this access. But now I've given all the necessary access to Nelby. And also in order to let us say if Nelby is the row admin or user admin. So whenever you are assigning the access to this user, Nelby, make sure like whatever privileges are granted to Nelby, or you have to select this option called grantable to other users and roles, or else there is no point. So while creating this role, also to make sure that if you add some privilege here in granted roles, I have a second sorry. In the system privileges, when you assign this role, make sure that you are selecting this option grantable to other users and roles. And then, unless you do this, you will not be able to select this. So you will not be able to assign this role to others, this system to list to other user with this role. You'll get some authorization error and all that. Now do it. I've created this role. What did I do? So here we have to discuss about a concept before transporting the roles. Like role is under what? Role is created under a package called role design. So you cannot directly transport a package. You have to use the concept called. I'll show you. You have to use the concept called. Let me go to the window. Here in the perspective, you can open a perspective called SAP GUI and Modular. I think it is already open here in the quick view. If you select on this, you can find the option called delivery units. So in delivery units, you can select the system that you want to perform the operation. I'll select the system as HPD system. Select the source system. Click on Next. Here what you can do, you can create a delivery unit. Delivery unit is nothing but a group of packages. You can select whatever packages that you want to transport from one system to another system. I'll give some random name. This is the transport name and who is responsible for this transport. Let us say system is responsible for this transport, not system. Let us say NRP is responsible for this transport. I can do system also, that's not an issue. System is responsible, and I'll give the version as 1. So later, if you are transporting the same thing, you can update the version name as 2. It's up to you. You can change the version name as you like. All of the details are not needed except for these 3. Click on and your package is created. Once your delivery unit is created, you can assign the package that you want. Which package I'll assign? I want to input the role here. So I'll select the role which I need to import. Click on Finish. Our delivery unit is created successfully. So in order to move this delivery unit from one system to the source system, you need to log in into Application. Lifecycle Management. Basically, this is the Application Lifecycle Management portal. So the Application Lifecycle Management portal goes somewhere like this. It is SAP HANA X. It's LM stands for Lifecycle Management. X is your server engine. You have to log in into X element. Once you log in into XSM with giving the credentials, the first screen that you're going to see is this thing. Here you can see multiple things going on in the recent activities. So now you can go to this Home Products, and all are used by the application developers. Basically, if they want to create a new product, they can do it. The modelers or the application developers. But we are going to only create a transport. So before doing the transport, you can suppose like for this transport, like everything is active, but let us say that DP admin job is to like I have maintained the vendor name. That is Traven. You can always change the vendor name, but I'm not going to change it now because we have to do a system restart if I'm going to change it. I'll keep that Traven. You can. If you want to enable recording, you can enable it. I'm only using native SAP HANA support, which is the standard transport mechanism which is provided by HANA DP. I'm not selecting Enable CTS Transport because this will enable Solution Manager. I'm not going to use Solution Manager here. So Solution Manager is a different tool which we are not going to discuss as part of our course. But Solution Manager, if you enable, you have to configure everything. This is done by HANA-DB admin or the basis admin. He's going to do it. I have only selected Enable, and in Transport what you're going to do. You have to register systems. Now if you see, there is only one system HDB. In real-time scenario, you will have multiple systems like HQ. Now let us consider HDB as your development system. In real-time you have HQB and HPB. Then what will be your source system? Your source system will be HDB and your target system will be what? Your source system will be HDB and your target system will be HQB if you want to import transport from this system to other system. But unfortunately now we do not have any new system. And our admin team is following up with the server people to create a new. What do you say? Create a new instance. Once I have asked them to create an instance called HQB because we do not have privileges to create. So I have asked them to do it. Once they do it, we'll be able to see the transport clearly. But these are the system details that you can find. But if you go to transport, you can create a transport request here. You can name something 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can. You have to select the source system But unfortunately, the target system is already different because there is only one system available. So if you try to select the same system as your source system, it will not allow it. It will throw an error definitely, but not away. But see what happens. Now you can select the package which you have created, which is what security or something role transport. I have created multiple packages. So you can select any package that you have created. Some role transport I've created. Or transport 1, 2, 3, 4, which we created now. Select it, add some comment. Raven, what is this website again? This is not a website. This is an application lifecycle management cockpit which is provided by HIBDB. Will HIBDB have this cockpit? HIBDB will get this corporate by default. By default, you'll get this. And this is the link for that. It can vary from system to system. As I already said in my previous class, you can find it by clicking on the system, go to properties and go to access properties. In access properties, you'll find the host details. You'll find the host name as well as the instance number. So you can simply copy paste this thing and you can edit, you can add these details. Click on cancel. So what happens once you were successful, be able to create a transport? It will give you an option here. It will give you an option to start transport. Simply select your transport and click on Start Transport. It will show you the message that the transport is successful. Once the transport is successful, you can go to your target system and you can check if the package is imported or not. It's easy. You can go to the content folder and you can check if the package, this particular package, is imported or not. That is a transport system, but I can show it to you more clearly once we get it in real. We are trying to get a new system. For now, we only have one instance, that is development instance HTTP. Let us get HQB and we'll be able to do it. Or some other system. Any other system except HTTP will do it because for now, we only have one server. We only have one instance, one system. So with one system, you'll not be able to see how we are going to transport because you cannot transport the same system because the package is already existing. So the source system and the target system should be different. So today, apart from this, we are going to cover two more topics in LB, that is auditing and tracing. There are two topics that we are going to cover. Both are easy. They're not difficult. Let me close all these tabs. Tomorrow we can see what like. We can understand the basic details of what is a multi-tenant database. Multi-tenant database is simple. So you can have a different kind of tenants here. Different kinds of tenants under the same system. Like on the same HIBDB database, you can have multiple tenant databases. Like now, we are asking our team to create a new tenant database. This is a tenant database. So in tenant database, basically the modelers or the developers are going to work on tenant database. There is another database called the system database. System database access is not usually given to any of us. System database is only allotted to the basis admin. The basis team is going to monitor the system database. And it was if you have to get a new system admin or the basis admin will get a database from a system database. I'll explain you the whole concept. It is easy, only it is only for our understanding. Security consultant will not do anything. It is purely for the basis, admin, but for knowledge sake, we are going to discuss about it. Let us remove all this. Let us have this thing. Now I'm going to show you the audit part. For accessing the audit part, you have to select security. Earlier, there was no audit policy defined, but now, for showing you, I have created a new audit policy here. Let me remove it. I'll show it to you from scratch. Now, earlier it was disabled. I'm with you how you can select it enabled in the audit section, and you can get 3 options here. Syslog is the default. Like by default, you will be only seeing syslog, but what syslog does is that cannot change the audit settings. I'll just change the tenant database. Basically the system database, like in tenant database, you cannot change it. I think there is some issue with it. But now I was able to change it. Let us see if our system user ID has the audit admin privilege. This is our system user ID. I think there's some issue going on. Better I'll come out of all these conflicts. Audit admin, audit operator, as well as the audit read is assigned to the system user. So there shouldn't be any issue, but let us do a system refresh. So what we have done is that I already enabled the audit trace. So it is not allowing us to change the audit log. I assigned a database table here. Let me do one thing. Let me disable it. Let me disable and execute. I've disabled it successfully. Let me now try to enable it. Let me change it to instead of database table, I'll try to change it to syslog default. I'm not changing it. So tenant database. Only one time it is going to allow you. So be careful while giving this auditing. So what I've done is that I've selected database table because syslog will basically save the audit log in at Linux level or the OS level, at your Linux level or the OS level. We'll not be able to extract the data. We'll not be able to modify any audit data. It is going to be very difficult. That's why I selected database table. You can also select CSV text file usually. It is not allowing. There is some error actually. I don't know for some reason, but usually it allows. Usually it will allow. You can select a CSV text file. Let me try with NLP user ID and see what happens. It's not going to allow you for the change in a tenant database. If you want to change it now, you have to change it directly from the system database, which we don't have access. Only the server provider, the test server provider, will have access to it and will not be able to change it anymore. So once we have enabled this, now if you want to change this audit trail, you have to change it from your system database, which we cannot show you obviously. So after enabling this, you can select an audit policy. You can do whatever policy you want. I'm giving the policy name as my policy. I'm giving the policy as my policy. And what are the audited actions? So usually you can audit all these actions. If you select all actions will be audited. Basically, all the actions available will be audited. These are required for separate, different people who are working in our, in our hidden studio. But what basically we do is that we either select as a security person, we use only user and role management and granting and revoking authorization. We only use these things, but for now only select user and role admin. User and role management. I can only select one. What do you say? One action per policy. You can select multiple policies here. Similarly, I can select my policy to with audited actions as I can select audit action as something else, granting and revoking of authorization. I can select two policies basically. So here, if you want to enable this only for one user, this policy only for one user. If you want to audit only one user, you can give the user here. Or if you want to exclude some users from this policy, you can give that here. But I'm not going to give anything here because I don't either. Either I don't want to create any exception or I don't want to only monitor one person. I want to monitor everybody. Like all the users I want to monitor. You will not be able to select any target object, and audit target is also usually not given to you. Like if you want, you can select a database table or CSV text file or syslog for that matter. You can select anything you want, but by default we have selected the target as database table. So after creating these policies, you can click on execute. So we have created the policy success period. Now let us say if a user is doing something in the system. Like let us say if Nelby is creating something, you can give that action. You can miss something. And also you can select so only if you want to monitor the successful actions or also if you want to monitor unsuccessful or all. It depends. If you want to monitor all the actions or not. Let us say you only want to monitor successful actions. And let us say with the Nelby user ID, I'll try to create some new user. It will show me in the audit log. What happened? It's required to change. Finally, it is showing some. Let us use latest 1, 2, 3. Let us create with the system. Test 1, 2, 3. Let us create a password. I've given the password here. You can give valid or something. I'll just execute. I'm just creating a simple user here. So basically, you can perform all these audit actions as a main audit of actions. You can back up delusions, data definitions. The thing that you just saw when I was selecting what I want to monitor like, I selected only user and role management for my profile. You can select anything else as you want. You can select it as an urgency alert, critical warning info. About user information is there already here. You can see. All alert emergency critical are there. Audit targets. If you want to select some audit target for your profile, you're always free to do it. You can select audit target. And you can also select audit level. I have selected the audit level as info because I only want information. You can either select it as an alert or emergency or something else critical or whatever you see feasible. Basically, it depends upon organization to organization because I am only showing it to you for practice purpose. So I only selected info. You can select any option that you want. So the views that basically are needed. Audit policies, file contents. So in audit policies, all audit policies and their states are stored in the system. View. There is one more thing called audit_log where all audit logs are shown. I'll show you the system use basically. System use are stored in which schema? It is stored under sys_by and sys_big schema. I'm going to show you that. You can see everything. So that's what I mentioned here. The configuration parameter for auditing are stored under i.global.ini configuration file in the auditing configuration section. So the configuration parameter is stored here. I'll show you that. It's easy on me. m_info contents. So only database users with system privilege, catalog read data admin or in file admin can view information in the m_info contents view. I'm going to show you that you need to have these 3 privileges. I'll share you these files in order so that you can refer to it. And this is audit log infrastructure. It's not so important. Basically, everything will be covered. Audit admin or audited operator privilege needs to be assigned in order to basically enable the audit log. I basically explained like what is a Linux log or what is a database table or what is a CSV format. Basic. So what you can do is that it's easy basically. You can basically select as per your requirement. Database table is easy to access. You can change the entries of the table like CV file. You can download a text file basically. So I have mentioned the same thing here. The options that you saw basically as an output. Linux is log database table and the CSV file. Anything can be selected as an output. Where are we? I've given a business example. You can refer to it if needed, but we are not going to see any business example. This is the table database table that is used basically for database table. Let me show you that. Or if you want to create anything like audit policy or something like that. You can create it using SQL also, but I would not suggest you to use any SQL if you're not good with SQL. But if you want to use, you can use this SQL queries also. To activate an audit policy or for creating dropping or to create any audit policy, you can use this query. At the same time, you can activate this audit policy using this thing. If you want to display some data in the audit log, you can use this command also. Select from public.audit log. This will give you the database table. Let us try to execute that query. Query system SQL query editor. What is the query? Select star from public.audit log. Public.audit log. Sorry, what happened? Be careful while selecting this audit log. We should also have the access to select this, but I have given the privilege to be an audit log. Could not execute invalid schema. What did I do? This is the wrong schema which I have written here. Select from did I give spaces? I think so there. No, it's correct only. One space is allowed for everything. What is wrong? Simple thing is that we have not followed the syntax. Basically, we went with small letters. Please do like, share and subscribe to our channel. For more information, contact us sales@uptalk.com.